Welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the thumbnail, I'm doing something a little bit different today. Another one of my hobbies, I guess, is cooking and trying new recipes. And this is one that everyone seems to really like. This is my Pico De Gallo recipe. So anyways, if you're interested in making this beautiful bowl of pico, then keep watching. So the things you're going to need is about 10 Roma tomatoes, 2 bunches of fresh cilantro, 1 to 2. Everything in this recipe is totally to taste. 2 to 3 white onions, and then anywhere from 2 to 8 jalapenos. It really depends how hot they are, if you keep the seeds in or out. So you decide that. And then about a heaping spoonful of minced garlic, and then some garlic salt. And again, that's totally to taste, but maybe like 1 teaspoon-ish. So I love to cut by hand the tomatoes. That's just my favorite texture for the tomatoes. So if you don't have time, you can throw this like whole recipe in a blender and it's still really good. But just for that, my very favorite texture, I love to dice up the tomatoes and just get them to this nice little kind of diced up size. So as you can see, I kind of slice them, change them, and then just cube them out and do it that way. And like I said, I'm using about 10, and this will make kind of like a salad bowl size of Pico de Gallo, like close to a full-size bowl. So pretty large amount with this recipe. I don't know if you can really tell how big the bowl is here, but anyways, that's what one looks like, and that's what all 10 of them look like chopped up. Sometimes I kind of just stir it with the knife so that it kind of chops them a little bit too. And I'm going in with the white onions. I love to use white onions in my salsa as opposed to yellow onions. I just like the flavor and the taste that it gives. So again, the same thing. You can use a food processor for some of the harder stuff like the onions and things like that. I just went ahead and cut them by hand just to show you, because really when I do cut everything by hand, it gives everything just my favorite texture, and it just, I don't know, it just makes the flavor. It's just my very favorite when I do go through and cut kind of the major parts of this recipe by hand. I usually always put the jalapenos in a food processor, which I'll show you, but other than that, I like to kind of just dice and make everything. Maybe it makes it with love. I don't know. I just think it's better when you go through and dice them by hand. Okay, so as you can see, it is starting to kind of come together. Still a lot of red though, not enough kind of mixture of colors yet. So this is what another onion looks like mixing in there. And you can just kind of see, I love to you can just kind of eyeball really the whole entire recipe, just like what looks good will be great. So I think I kind of did it in half. So I don't think this is like a third onion that's just like another half to one of the onions. I did both of those white onions that I showed you is what I ended up doing. And then this is kind of what you want it to look like at this point. A pretty nice mixture of the red and the white. Tomatoes, obviously, you're going to have the most of, but you want it to look, pretty nice and mixed at this point. Next is the jalapenos, and like I said, I like to prepare these and do these in a food processor. I think I actually ended up using 6 jalapenos. Darren and I both we really like spice and heat, so I usually keep all the seeds into the jalapenos that I do. Darren got a ton of jalapenos from his garden. Jalapenos really are extremely to taste as well, because, sometimes you get really extra hot jalapenos and sometimes you get pretty mild ones. So you just kind of add a few, start off with fewer and then add them as you go to see how you like the heat. But like I said, I like to do these in a food processor because they can kind of burn your hands after a while cutting them. So I just have that little one. I love that little food processor. I got it just like at Walmart for, I don't know, 12 or 13 bucks, I want to say. And I love that for making this recipe. And so once I get those in and I kind of just look at the color ratio, that's really how I judge the whole recipes. I just kind of look at what the color's doing, and I'm thinking right now, okay, not quite enough green. I'm going to add a few more jalapenos, and we had tons of them from the garden, so I just went ahead, added 2 more, so I think we're at 6 now at this point. I don't like to chop anything too small. The jalapenos are what I get probably the very smallest of everything, but I don't like anything too finely chopped in this recipe. So I'm adding just a couple more of those, and then just make sure after every step you're mixing it really, really well so that all the kind of just the juices and the flavors from everything can just really blend together, because that's what makes the recipe really good. Okay, so next is cilantro, and I think I guess we'll see if I used 1 or 2 bunches. I think I end up using just 1 bunch of it, and then I had a little bit of extra from Darren's garden. He didn't have enough growing yet that I could do the full thing from his garden, but I just like to chop up, kind of twist it, chop it, twist it, chop it, till I get the cilantro pretty fine. And I mostly like pretty leafy cilantro. I don't keep much of the stems in. So then I just go ahead and add that and eyeball, again, the color ratio from here. And we'll just kind of see. And it just gets so pretty. I love this dish. It's just, cilantro's so pretty with the mix of colors. I love to make it and I love to eat it. And it's my favorite. Okay, so once you've got your color ratio looking right and it's just looking really pretty and like what you see at Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, that's how I always try to judge it, make it look the same. Then I'm going to add in the garlic salt and just kind of whatever seasonings. I like to add in garlic salt and minced garlic. I love garlic, and I just like to keep it simple. I mean, this is a pretty simple, standard, basic pico recipe. Anyway, so there is the finished product, and you can see Darren's reaction to it.
On.
Yep, it's on. Okay, let us know how you like it.
Alright, so I can see that you used a lot of jalapenos from my garden.
Garden fresh.
Is there a kick to it?
How is it?
That's amazing.
Best you ever tried your whole life?
Way the best.
And it was also
It's
some
really
of your
better than any of the
cilantro
stores
too.
we've had. There is a kick to that.
I know. I was showing them the jalapeno part. I didn't take out any of the seeds at all. And there was eight jalapenos in there.
We can see it like 100 seeds. It's awesome.
So it's good? You like it? You'd highly recommend it?
You can sell this anywhere.
Well, thank you. I kind of just eyeball everything, so hopefully people can recreate it okay.
It's visually pleasing.
Yeah, it's pretty colors. I was saying your cilantro's in there too, but I actually had to improvise with a little bit more cilantro.
Yeah, I didn't quite have enough.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I made some guacamole with it too. Do you want to try that for us? Okay. Okay, now I also put it in some guacamole.
I'm starting to break a sweat.
Because it's hot. How's the guac?
Guac are good.
Makes everything good if your pico is good, right?
Way good guac.
Why don't you tell them who the best wife is too?
Well, I'm a pretty good biscuit right there. Sweet outfit, slaving over the cook, the thing while I was out battling the wild rivers.
I know, Darren's brother Justin's in town, so they were out canoeing, kayaking, I mean. Sounds like you're getting eaten to death by mosquitoes, though.
No, there was like millions of these tiny white bugs. If you turn your head sideways, it looked like you were driving through snow. It was crazy.
That's super gross. Okay, well, thank you for your input.